Yeah. Hey, this that special sauce. Spill that drip, I wipe it off. $1 million worth of game. Can't feel that I work too hard. Poetry all in these songs.
What's good to all my stoners, hippies, and hip hop enthusiasts? It is your boy, Dope Boy Diesel, back in the motherfucking Doja Room for another episode. Now, we got to get into the fallout and everything that is going on with this Super Bowl halftime show. You know, when it comes down to this channel, we are heavy in the trenches when it comes down to this ongoing stand war. So, if you have came here, if you have remained here, please like the video, get in the comment box, and please subscribe to your boy. I promise I don't disappoint. Now, look, we got to talk about the fallout of this whole Kendrick Lamar halftime show and the ongoing debate of the reception, I guess you can say, of the show, which just wasn't, it wasn't received by everyone in the light I guess TDE would like to receive it. Now, when we did our first episode on this, it was more so of a reaction watching the immediate fallout. And in that episode, I spent an hour going through reactions, raw reactions from the gaming world, from the heavy football lovers and fans, from the political world, from the hip hop world. And there's only a small percentage of people who really want to defend that performance and act like it was the greatest performance of all time. Now, I'm not one who is going to say that is particularly the worst, but if we're going off of what the people are saying, well, then, it's the worst. It's the worst Super Bowl halftime show of all time. Now, y'all might say, well, why does it matter what all the people are, what the majority of the people are saying? This was a performance that was filled and so deeply integrated with messaging and, a fight for Black people and a fight for this and a fight for that. And my answer to that is, had Kendrick properly won this moment for being the guy that he claims to be, if he would have properly seized this moment for making music that called for reparations last year, that called out Trump and his transgressions last year, or called out anybody's wrongdoing, then all of this big fuck you to America, supposedly, or this lecture to America, it would land a little bit more, then it would be the high five. Oh yeah, Kendrick is really sticking it to the man. But when it comes down to Black people, sometimes it's just so easy to sway your hearts because the slightest effort of symbolism moves you people to the point of you are ready to throw down your last dollar. You're ready to sacrifice your firstborn child. You're ready to do all of these crazy things, lie, cheat, steal, push narratives. You're ready to do all of these things. And in my view, it's just not even worth it for a person who isn't really even putting that shit on and putting on for that shit like how he really, like, see me, I'm a natural born crash out. I am all or nothing. I'm an all or nothing type of dude. Okay, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it 100%. If I'm not gonna do it at all. So my whole thing is with this half stepping and y'all trying to make it seem like everything it isn't. This is why I say Kendrick Lamar fans are modders to his Skyrim, to his Bethesda. And for my real gamers, y'all gonna catch on to that one. But this is why I say these things, because niggas just really don't get how much goes into propping this man up and spinning all of this narrative, all of these narratives, and covering all his blind spots, just to the point where we're just simply making shit up in order to explain away why this halftime performance was so fucking boring. It just didn't hit the mark. You guys hyped this performance up to be what it wasn't. Let me say that again. You guys hyped this performance up to be what it wasn't. And everything that y'all said it was going to give, it just didn't. Now, we already know the regular Drake detractors, the regular Kendrick glazers. As I said, they're going to glaze this shit to high heaven. You know what I mean? The Breakfast Club. Of course, everybody on the Breakfast Club is going to glaze Kendrick. Everybody on TDE, DJ Head is going to glaze Kendrick. All the reactors are going to glaze Kendrick. I mean, but they're not going to sit here and act like they're watching the same shit that we're watching, because their dollars come from the Kendrick hive, the Kendrick fan base. So they're not going to necessarily tell the truth and let you guys crash out on them and they lose subscribers, lose money, no, of course they're not going to do that. But let me just say this. One thing about me, and one thing we're going to do on this channel, as much as I love Drake, you're never going to see me just blatantly ignore reality in order to prop this man up, because you just don't have to do that. You don't even have to do that when it comes down to Drake. You don't. But the way these people sit here and, seemingly want you to ignore reality is almost insane. Now, a lot of them are going in and doubling back and trying to do this big breakdown as to why, this performance was so deep. Let's get into it. We got old man Ebro here, and he has a few words specifically for Drake, and just taking a look back on the performance and the beef as a whole. Let's get into this.
Drake is not that important. The reason Drake's in this is because he is a sickness.
Now, what Ebro wants you to believe is that Kendrick Lamar dedicated his entire performance to Drake, because Drake somehow for the past 15 years has been a sickness, quote unquote, to the rap game and the rap industry, despite launching Apple Music, launching so many people's careers, including Kendrick Lamar. He had a very big hand on bringing eyes to his career, and new listeners and a new type of people and sound to his music. But it's just really strange how the cards have fallen now. Let's let him continue this nonsensical rant.
In the game, it could have been any artist. It's what Drake represents. We've been saying this for months. People love Drake. They love his music. We love his music. He's beloved. He's not willing to go rip his soul from the bottom and do ayahuasca and look himself in the mirror as Kendrick had prescribed to him. On what song was that? Euphoria? No.
Seems like it's about Drake, but continue.
No, but it's about what the game does to someone who's trying to dominate it.
Right.
Drake is not that important.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck Ebro is talking about. This is why, and this is the head, this is the guy who's out here curating playlist on Apple Music and curating and making and breaking careers over at Apple Music. This is the guy. This is the guy. Now, if you want to sit here and say that somehow Drake is the reason why, you know, hip hop is where it's at, then you're 100% right and wrong, because at the end of the day, this is a nuanced thing. Drake has been the guy leading the charge, but Drake has also been the guy who sits here and reaches out to these sounds and these creators and these next up guys, puts them on, hops on their track. And, you know, whatever they do with it after that moment, that's up to them. But to sit here and act like this man has been ruining hip hop for the past 10 to 15 years, we gotta start referring back to reality. This is why niggas be online going so hard when y'all see these Drake fans have their panties all up in a bunch and they're crashing out. It's because for the past almost year, we've been hearing narratives getting spun like this. And it just makes no sense. And people want you to sit here and be like, oh my God, it's over. He lost, bro. And this, that, the third. Yeah, it would be one thing if niggas lost, but y'all niggas is over here trying to also rewrite history and and paint Drake as the guy that's, you know, who's everything wrong. They trying to treat Drake like how they treated Lil Yachty when he first came in the game. And Lil Yachty told you he didn't know, what did he say? He didn't know who Biggie was, or he didn't know a Biggie song or a Tupac song, or he said, what did he say? Future is better than Biggie and Tupac, or some crazy shit that Yachty said. And everybody was getting on his ass. Rightfully so at that point. But they're trying to put Drake in that position as, look, these niggas coming in, these are the guys that are everything wrong with hip hop. And these motherfuckers forget that not only did Drake out rap Kendrick bar for bar in this beef, but Drake can rap along, and he's just proven it. Drake can rap with some of the great, not even some of the great, with the greatest of the greats. He can sing with the best of the singers. He can make vibes with the Ty Dolla Signs in the futures. He can just make the countless vibes, the shits that don't miss. Like what are we talking about here? And when y'all see Drake fans constantly online going hard, crashing out, it's because day in and day out, narratives like this are being spun and put out into the world. And it's so one-sided. It's been so one-sided for the past year. But narratives like this, day in and day out, are being spun. And we're supposed to just sit here and act like this is reality, as if we don't have the facts, as if we don't have memory. They've been crashing out on me since the Super Bowl performance, and all I did was tell the truth, give my opinion. Bro, this was mid. Y'all want this dude to be the guy so bad, but this was mid. Why are you mad at me? You even got...
Thought there was some songs that could have went even if he performed.
Joe Budden. Now, in the last episode, I showed you niggas what Joe Budden said. He called the lineup, the set list, trash. Him and his co-host, homeboy right here to the left. They sat here and called the shit trash. They told you that this was the worst set list that they ever fucking heard. Whoever put it together was culturalist. Whoever put it together was a fucking idiot. is a fucking dummy. That no way Kendrick would get on stage and perform this. Let's see what Joe Budden has to say today.
Yeah, that's all I'm criticizing. Hate the set list.
That's the only thing I hate.
Yeah, that's all I'm criticizing. For
That's
me, that has to take.
All I'm criticizing now all they're criticizing is the set list. Now all they're criticizing is the set list. Let's continue. Because the set list contained all the breaks, the position change. It contained all of this shit. It contained all the messaging and all the set list that you niggas had contained all of this breaks, and this person is going to talk here and all of this shit. It contained all of that.
Take a back seat because the story was greater than the set list.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I can't now come and tell the storyteller how to tell that story.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was some songs that could have went even if he performed them at the other Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So let's just cut this bullshit because Joe ain't talking nothing but bullshit. See, people like Joe and people like, a Charlemagne and all the K thoughts out there, they seen this sentiment growing of this being the worst Super Bowl halftime show of all time. And they immediately felt like they had to start peddling and damage control for this particular moment, trying to tell you and convince you that no, this moment is so important. This moment was too important. It was too much of a moment to waste. This moment was about the message. This moment was about, Kendrick sticking it to America. My boy, my guys. Let me tell y'all something. This is the fucking Super Bowl, my nigga. Nobody is sitting here at the Super Bowl with their notepad out like, let me see. Let's see what the Super Bowl is about today. Let's see what we can learn, class. Everybody sit down. Sit down. The Super Bowl halftime show is coming on. Pull out your pencils and turn off your phones. The Super Bowl halftime show is coming on. Be quiet. It's time for us to listen to Kendrick Lamar. We could be missing a great message right here. Nobody's here for that bullshit. Nobody is here for a fucking a message and to watch this shit back 30 times so we can get the message, nigga. We don't give a fuck about a message, nigga. We don't give a fuck about Kendrick Lamar's message. Fuck his message. Fuck Kendrick Lamar's message, nigga. We don't give two fucks. We at a Super Bowl party. We chilling with the bitches. We eating wings. Niggas is getting drunks. Niggas is getting drunk. We getting high. The fam is inside. We done stepped outside real quick. You know what I'm saying? To puff on those. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, what you talk? Like, what are y'all niggas talking about? And if we with the homies, we smoking inside. We chilling. To be honest, we damn near ain't even really hearing the game and hearing the halftime show and shit like that. But at the end of the day, niggas might stop to pay. Oh shit, all right, niggas is performing in a halftime show, this, that. But that little moment that we stopped to pay the halftime and show a little bit of attention, my nigga, we not stopping to pay that shit attention so we can be out here breaking down messages, nigga. I don't give a fuck what you niggas think. See, this is the thing. Y'all motherfuckers want to use this deeper message shit as Kendrick Lamar's shield when he is lackluster, when he does not perform, when he does not live up to the position that y'all have elevated him to. Y'all like to use this deep message and shit as his shield, my nigga. At the end of the day, we at the Super Bowl. We don't give a fuck about your deep messaging, nigga. Half the niggas there, the 70% of the motherfuckers there is drunk. They getting lit. We don't give a fuck about your messaging. Put that shit in your album, nigga. and get another Grammy for it, so niggas can half listen to your shit and you can get another Grammy for it, so niggas can listen to your shit one time, niggas can give your shit 1 or 2 spins, and then in 2 or 3 months niggas is never touching that shit again, and we're throwing you all the fucking Grammys in the world. Put that shit in your album. Super Bowl show is for entertainment. It's grandiose. It's breathtaking. It's magnificent. It's larger than life. And like I said in the last episode, y'all can think what y'all want to think. I see the comments and, oh, bro, you just mad. No, you just mad because Drake lost. No, bro. Look, at the end of the day, Kendrick is capable of better. And if he would have delivered the performance that y'all told me he was going to deliver, I would be the first to give him props. I would be the first to be like, well, he made the whole show about Drake, but at least he did his thing. It's undeniable. And if it's undeniable, then it's undeniable. But I'm sorry, the general consensus is that the shit was whack. And since then, these niggas have been putting out all types of narrative. They want to drop that this is the most watched Super Bowl halftime show of all time. We don't care. We don't care. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, my nigga. Though all those people tuning into the most watched Super Bowl halftime of all time was tuned in for Drake at the end of the day, nigga. They were tuned in for the downfall of Drake once again, just to see him do the thing. See him do the... Go ahead, do the song, perform the song. We don't care about any other song that you're performing. We don't know what you're saying. The only thing that we understand is A minor. Burnt the fuck out. Now, a lot of niggas is spinning, like I said, narratives, but here's where we start zooming in a little bit on reality. Let Kai Cenat happen to be at the game. Let's get his take on what was going on at the game and from his perspective from when he was there.
Kendrick Lamar came out. Word to my mother. If anybody was there, y'all knew it was. Y'all knew it. Y'all felt it. Crowd was making no noise. This is me being honest. I was there. The loudest times that they made, the loudest time that the crowds did was, I think, him being shown for the first time, SZA, Samuel Jackson being shown for the first time, and then They Not Like Us. Now, I honestly feel like some of the songs he should have switched out for more. You feel me? For like another song or some shit. Like there's some song on there that I was like, damn, he could have switched that out for like this. This would have been fire here. This would have fire been there, right? But one thing I will say though, although the vibes was not good, crowd was not good. I don't even think like, bro, they were just not fucking with the performance. Like up until They Not Like Us. But what I will say is the symbolism behind that performance was top tier.
A for symbolism. Everything else is a fucking F. I mean, what else can you say? Like, when this is the general consensus of what's going on and what happened at that performance and how people reacted to it and received it, it's just not what they're trying to run damage control. They can run all the damage control they want, but the people have spoken. You can't cover this shit up. This is why Drake said, like, when you pop out and you see in real life, like how niggas is really receiving this shit, bro, you're irrelevant to this shit. Like there is too much fluff. It's too much The foundation is not really built on no real concrete, my nigga. You niggas is building a foundation of fluff. Now, we're not going to stop there. Even Mace and Cameron weighed in on this. And Cameron gave it a good review. But like the homie Mace said, I'ma speak for the people. You know, Cameron, you must be speaking, you know, for the celebrity half, for the people who want to be in TDE Goods Graces or whoever else. Shout out to Cameron, by the way. No, nothing against them, but you're obviously taking the PC, you know what I'm saying? The PC approach to this. You know what I mean? But we got to keep it funky. We got to keep it a buck. And it seems like Mace came to keep it a buck.
And everybody out there, bring him into his world. His world is LA. So if he would have brought out a bunch of gang members, that would have been something for the Super Bowl to see.
And that's the thing too, before he really gets into his point. I mean, it wasn't even really unapologetically LA. It didn't even really put quote unquote the West on. Like niggas was saying, like, what did it really do for LA in the West Coast?
You know,
Blood and Crips, right?
No, I mean, like
representing
the people,
America.
Yeah, I'm talking about the people that were at the pop out show. That was an amazing show, and not taking anything away from this show, but it lacked energy for me. I mean, even from the outfit selection, from the lights, just everything. It just, to me, from my understanding, it wasn't what I thought a Super Bowl should be.
I don't think that your take is wrong.
Yeah.
I think that he just took advantage of the people watching them and said, all right, let me get niggas to go.
Those people who are ass kissing, oh, the message. All of those people are a very small minority. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. That's not the majority of people who feel like that. It's not. We're talking about a small minority of the delusional, the blackity black, blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I hate black men dating white women. I hate black women dating white men. Those motherfuckers are the ones who ate this performance up. Those are the people who ate this performance up. Everybody else is looking at this shit for what it is.
See where I'm at. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But I totally agree with you.
And what I'm saying is, so people don't take it, and I know they're going to make a soundbite about it, but anything, but just creatively, even if you're going into Kendrick's world, I would have came out with mustard. That would have been the way you just walk out, pause, to where the crowd was more hype, and then I would have got into Euphoria. All the things, two of the things that he did. And if you're going to diss Drake, do the whole song. We want the whole song. I mean, you're going to get sued for it. If he's going to sue, let him sue for the whole song. I thought the people would have went much more crazier. And if that was what he wanted to convey, he conveyed what he wanted. So I'm not here to say he made the wrong choices, but I'm just saying from what the other people are thinking, not saying they didn't like the performance. They're judging them between Michael Jackson. Who else?
To be totally honest with you, not even going back that far. And he was a part of this when Dr. Dre did it a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
His shit was crazy.
And
Kendrick was a part of that.
Yeah,
and Dre killed his. I mean, that was masterful, grandiose. That was worthy of a halftime performance. The whole set, bringing out 50, bringing out Snoop, like that was worth a halftime performance, my nigga. And that was one of the best halftime performances that I've seen in a while. And the sad thing is that all of those niggas that we're talking about and was on that stage will probably glaze Kendrick and tell you, oh yeah, he had the best halftime show of all time. Nigga, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, nigga?
It's a energy, and just like, and to Kendrick's credit, there's a lot of other songs that he could have performed that he didn't, that was for that time. But I guess he was just introducing people to his new music.
So I have a lot of thoughts, and I'll keep it short. I actually attended my first Super Bowl, so I was there. When I first seen it, I didn't know how I felt about it. I had to go back and rewatch it via the TV because it looks very different.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas gotta go back and rewatch it and let me get the symbolism. Hold it. Like, why do you have to do all of that for a unequivocally, unquestionably a great show? Like, why do you even have to do that?
Based on the field versus how it's, performed towards the TV. But I think he did a great job of representing who he is, because there were a lot of, slight messages that a lot of people didn't fully understand to begin with, because really with Samuel Jackson being Uncle Sam.
We got the Uncle Sam shit is cool, but other than that, we don't give a fuck about all of this message that people didn't understand. No disrespect to Shorty. She bad. She look good. But nigga, we don't give a fuck about all of this messaging that people didn't get. We didn't come here for that shit. Nobody came to a football game to decipher lyrics and shit, nigga. We came to a NFL halftime show, not a URL, a rap battle, nigga. The fuck is you niggas talking about? This shit is the NFL, not URL. Why are we sitting here acting like halftime shows need to be deciphered now for all the messaging? And like, nigga, nobody give a fuck about all that shit. Niggas is drunk, high, and trying to get some ass after the game. Nigga, fuck is you talking about?
Him saying, don't do that song. This is too ghetto. This is too loud. And then by obeying Uncle Sam, he switched gears and then went to humble and did what was considered popular for the masses. It wasn't supposed to be, let me just play what everybody wants to hear. It was supposed to be, I'm sending a message. It's Black History Month. I'm on one of the biggest stages of the year, and I'm going to represent Black people. That's what I got from it. And I know, people wanted to hear, I don't know, like, we gonna be all right and different things.
Now, playing Euphoria, Squabble Up, not like, how does that give I want to represent Black people? Besides the strictly symbolism alone. But other than that, how does his selection and the songs that he selected, which even one of Kendrick's biggest thoughts, company thought, even he said, like, bro, every song of damn near all of these songs are sending shots at Drake and, kind of talking about Drake. Even Company Man is telling you this shit. This is one of Kendrick Lamar's biggest dick suckers. I'm telling you, he's saying this shit. If you don't believe me, you can go see it yourself. So this is where there's a niggas start to be at odds, because, and this is where we start to say, well, this sounds like clear damage control. It sounds like clear damage control, because you can't have it both ways. This can't be a Super Bowl about all this deep messaging and this, that, the third whole time the nigga is performing and throwing subs at Drake the entire show. Which one is it? Which one is it, bro? Which one is it? That's all I'm asking, because this shit is starting not to make sense. Y'all can't have it both ways. And that's what it sounds like you niggas is trying to do. Y'all trying to have it both ways. Y'all trying to have y'all cake and eat it too. Either this was some super deep, blackety black, uplift Black people on Black History Month, kumbaya, Let's send a message to the president. I've heard it all. I've heard every fucking thing in these past 48 hours. So all of these weird ass takes, it was either that or niggas was dissing Drake and dancing and crip walking on his it was a funeral to Drake. How we see in the other half of people saying it was a funeral to Drake. He was crip walking on his grave. So which one was it? Y'all have to make this make sense. Y'all are not making sense.
But that's why it was like, as he disobeyed Uncle Sam's messages, it kind of took you along to tell a story. So like, that's what Samuel Jackson represented. And, you know, people can argue about what Serena represented, but she is from Compton and she did her thing, which also is confusing for me because I was actually in the same suite as her and she got up and left and we were wondering where she went. She went down to do the performance. I think it tied in a lot of things that if you got it, you got it. If you didn't, you didn't. But I think that represented kind of his music and the culture as a whole. So I think he did a great job, but I don't think it was for everybody because it's either you understood it or
no. Bro, and this is what it's not a matter of if you understood it, then cool. If you do, no, we didn't come here to the fucking Super Bowl halftime show to be over here trying to decipher and understand it, nigga. We just came here to be entertained. This is not the time for us to be deciphering lyrics, nigga. We came here to be entertained. We came here to watch a great and fun fucking show. That's it. That's it, my nigga. And my thing is, there's so many ways to put on for black people and black culture. Kendrick's method and way of doing it is not the only fucking way. There's so many different ways to put on for black people and black culture that's actually fun, that's actually inclusive to everyone, that's actually, you know, people can break down and understand the shit. Like my nigga, in real talk, if you wanted to really, on Black History Month, if you really wanted to dedicate this to Black history and, you know, black culture, bro, you could have went, because you're the super rapidy rap guy, my nigga. Why didn't you just go through and have Uncle Sam go through the generations and the decades of hip hop up until now and bring out those respective artists who led the game, who helped lead the game up to where it is now, all the way up into your hands? This is why I'm saying, bro, y'all niggas be sitting here acting like this shit is so deep. I just thought of a better halftime show in 2 seconds. Kendrick, if he was really that guy and really wanted to send a message and a super blackety black message, there's so many more, like, and like I just proved, there's so many different ways to put on for black people and black culture on Black History Month. There's so many fun ways and creative ways to do it. That wasn't a PlayStation controller and Uncle Sam. I like the Uncle Sam touch, but other than that, my nigga, that wasn't really that creative, nigga. It wasn't really like, it wasn't really that. There was shit done that was more John Blaze than that. I'm sorry, nigga. There's shit done that was more John Blaze than that. It's not. This is not a matter of if you understand it, then cool. If you didn't, then right. No, nigga. It's a Super Bowl halftime show, nigga. This is about being entertained. It's about having fun. Niggas don't go to parties and shit like that for that one guy to be like, well, I'm gonna play a song that's about it's a deep message to my culture, and like, nigga, is it a party song? You can put on for your culture and shit like that, but is it a song that your people party to? If not, then keep that shit, nigga. What the fuck? This ain't time for that. Let's see the rest of what she got to say.
You didn't really vibe with it because it wasn't his popular hits. But I think he took a chance, and I think it was a cool chance to do on one of the biggest stages with all those people kind of tuning in and watching. So I get everybody's points, but that's kind of what I took from it after seeing it over again. It was pretty cool. But I totally understand where you're coming from too, because it's like we ain't bopping, but some people.
Yeah,
would.
no, I'm not saying you have to bop. I'm saying whatever you're, just like anything, whatever you're trying to convey, you as a speaker, you want to make sure it's clear.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you, and I'll use an example of this. Like when I was trying to, like, on the verge of getting a deal or trying to get a deal, or right around, I don't know, we doing mixtapes, Mace or whatever. And Jay-Z was just coming out as an artist, and Nas kind of was out a little bit before Jay-Z. And I was telling this girl, I was at this girl house. I'm like, yo, Nas is crazy. She like, I like Jigga, and I'm like, nah, yo. And she like, Cam, I like Jigga. I don't have time to go to the club and bring my dictionary with me. I just want to have a good
on some real shit. But this is exactly what I've been saying for the past 20 minutes. Bitches don't want, niggas don't have time for all of that. We trying to have a good time. There's a time and a place for that. We trying to have a good time, nigga, on some real shit.
time when I go to the club. I don't feel like thinking. If I'm taking a long car ride, maybe I want to think. But when I go out, I don't need my dictionary with me. And I always kept that in mind when I wrote. There's certain things are for certain things and certain things are for certain things. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's what this kind of is.
Well said. Well said. Now that wasn't it. We even had some of Kendrick's biggest supporters, some of his biggest supporters just coming out and saying, I don't think this was it.
There's levels that we could talk about this halftime show. If you want to view this halftime show as a continuation of the middle finger of Drake, and you love nothing more than Drake receiving that middle finger, I don't know if you could have possibly asked for a better show. Like, he continued it to the point where I and you guys know how I feel about this, I am like, okay, it's got to be over now, right? Like, he did the game over thing at the end, and I'm like, okay, I've had enough.
This is even the Kendrick fans are like, all right, my nigga, like all right, nigga, you dragging it. All right, cool. You did the song, you did the thing, clap it up. Like, it could have been better, but you know what I'm saying? All right, cool. You got your shit off. And like he said, if you are a person who viewed this show as Drake's funeral, oh, then this was a masterful show to you. This was great. This was, a chef's kiss. But for the rest of us who just came to be entertained, who came to see Kendrick Lamar put on a good show, yeah, it wasn't given that, bro.
Enough. I don't think there's anything else interesting that you can do with relation to your beef with Drake. I think you did it. You played your song at the end. You had Serena Williams out there crip walking to it. You did the whole thing. You got it. You dropped the say Drake. You talked about this cat thing about he want to sue you and everything else. You got all that. You demonstrated your defiance toward him in that moment, and you did that. Okay. But if we're going to talk about the rest of the show, guys, I think that we can all be honest about this. Okay. It reminded me of another Kendrick Lamar song that was not performed. I would say that the halftime show was all right. I can't use the term that I want to use because y'all take it the wrong way, but I'm gonna say it. It was mid, right? But mid in the way those of us who used to have to deal with stems and seeds say mid. Okay.
Yeah. And it's just as simple as that. It was just, like I said, it was my first sentiment coming out of that. Like, that was mid. Like, that was it. Like, that's what we was waiting on. Like,
okay. It was a pretty good show. This is what it felt like to me. It felt like a show maybe better suited for an arena in terms of energy, but it was a stadium show. I felt like I have seen Kendrick shows on award shows with like the Imagine Dragons behind him that I felt like had more energy than this show. I felt like the energy that he had when he did All Right during the G-Funk Super Bowl, I thought that had more energy than this. And so, yeah, we can talk about all these cultural elements. We can talk about all the Easter eggs.
Let me pause it right there. This is just, and why I want to pause it there is because he's just reiterating what I've already said. You know, when I said and gave props when I said it, Kendrick is capable of better. Kendrick has done better. So for niggas to be sitting here gassing this shit like it's the greatest halftime show of all time, when Kendrick himself has literally put on a better show than this multiple times, we got to stop this bullshit. We got to stop this bullshit, my nigga.
Eggs that he had in there and all of that stuff, right? The thing about a Super Bowl halftime show for me is that it's supposed to be big. It's supposed to feel grand, and it did not feel grand. I think the Beyonce show at halftime on Christmas was more of the
Beyonce halftime show on Christmas was bigger, was a bigger production, was more magical, was more impacting than this. At this point, shit is crazy.
Scale of what a Super Bowl halftime show should be than this one was, right? If you switch those shows, I think the Kendrick would have worked well for the Christmas halftime and the Beyonce would have worked better for the Super Bowl halftime because she thought in the grandiose level that you need, I think, to put on a Super Bowl show, which is grandiose by definition. This, to me, was not a grand enough show.
Yeah, I mean, the choreography, there's people over here talking about choreography. Even the choreography could have been better. It was very basic. I mean, the stage, and even when it comes down to the messaging, it's so-called quote unquote messaging. I've seen more creative and like, why are people sitting here sucking so much dick? Kendrick could drop a fucking pencil on the ground and you niggas would be over here trying to tell me how hopscotch is poetry. It doesn't make no fucking sense to me how this nigga does the simplest shit and you niggas turn it into a whole fucking college course every fucking time. It wasn't even that deep. Like the quote unquote messaging wasn't even that deep for you niggas to even be glazing the shit like that. I can sound like a hater. I might sound like a hater to you niggas, but I'm sorry, it wasn't. It wasn't even that deep, my nigga. Because the best messaging to me was coming from Uncle Sam and you telling and him, you know, basically narrating and breaking the fourth wall. But even with that, it wasn't really capitalized. It wasn't even used to its full extent. That whole concept could have been done a little bit better.
It wasn't about the songs. And people like, he didn't even play his hits. Yes, he did. Humble is his biggest hit. He played that. He played DNA, which is right up there. He made the decision to play the new album, which, by the way, I don't think I really blame him for doing, because I would imagine if he picked up any new fans in the course of the last 9 months, they would have been the people that was all over GNX. I don't love GNX like that, but it's not crazy the idea that he would play his most recent heat or what people think is his most recent heat. All of that made sense in the song selection and everything else. I just felt like, you ever been to a party that just didn't have enough people? Not because there weren't people, but the room was too big. And so it didn't feel like the energy was contained like that. That was what I felt like when I was watching it. So yeah, you could talk about how black it was, and you could talk about how he did it for the culture, whatever that means, right? You can get into all of that. In the end, I don't blame anybody who said that they felt bored by watching that show, because he did not carry it. Like, it was a little bit too cool. He rapped very well, right? Like, technically speaking and all of that stuff, but it was too cool.
I'm not even going to say that, because one of the biggest criticisms from the show, including one of the criticisms I had, for, you know, the first half of the show was niggas couldn't even understand what he was saying. We didn't even know what he was saying. So I can't even give him that. Y'all can give him that if y'all want to. I can't give him that because we couldn't even understand literally. Now y'all can say all the white people, oh, you just didn't understand and they didn't understand. But no, nigga, I literally didn't understand what the fuck this nigga was saying for the first half of the show, nigga. Even when he started performing songs that I did know.
Cool. And I felt like it needed to be a bigger show. I wanted a bigger show. And quite honestly, I imagine the NFL and everybody else wanted a bigger show. That being said, he made the show he wanted to make. And as far as making the show that he wanted to make, I think he accomplished all the goals of that. And Sean, 70,000 people sang A minor.
Yeah, I to your point that you've been mentioning, like it wasn't a spectacle, which I think every Super Bowl halftime performance should.
And that's a great word for it too. You know, you are expecting like a spectacle, like, you know what I mean? Like this moment that just can't be so easily. Like, I feel like any artist who, you know, has half decent lyrics could have put on the same show. I don't think it takes an artist of Kendrick's caliber to put on a show like that. You know what I mean? It like, and that's not to bring him down, but to say that he's better than that. There's shit that's low hanging fruit. It's just very low hanging fruit, and if that was the super deep complex message that we were supposed to get, then well, hey, I guess, but it wasn't given all of that.
But if you've seen anything of Kendrick ever since he left TD and started his own brand in PG Lang, it's like all he really focuses on is the visuals and the art and making it truly his. Which at the end of the day, like you said, it was, but you know, that A minor in the entire stadium probably is all you really need.
Yeah, like people are talking about, oh man, it's the sound. My issue is not with how loud it was, right? That's not what we're talking about here. The issue is truly with the energy level and like loud and When I did that show on HBO, that was one of the things I had to learn is that they'd be like, yo, we need more energy, and I would get louder. Those aren't perfect substitutes, right? Like those two things don't necessarily mean the same thing. What he did was what I always say about Ether. I thought Takeover was better than Ether for the longest, but Ether was for an audience of one, and it absolutely nailed and connected with that audience of one. And Kendrick was clearly talking to Drake. Sean, I was mistaken. I didn't realize in Australia it actually was the afternoon when that show was going on. So, you know,
so he was very awake.
Yes. He was wide awake. So what do you think? Do you think Drake watched it with a bunch of people, or he told people they couldn't watch it and they all pretended that they had to go somewhere and then they went and watched it?
Yeah, it was probably the latter of like, no one's supposed to watch it.
Yeah, getting a little off the rails, but as you can see, a lot of people just weren't fucking with the performance like that. It just wasn't. It wasn't what people are trying to hype it and make it out to be. And like I said, at the end of the day, regardless of how you want to flip it, it could have really been a better show. And there's no real taken away from that. You can say that we didn't understand it. You can say that we're supposed to watch the show back 5 or 6 times to really get it so it can really sit on us. But at the end of the day, and it's a reason why I feel like as far as the views in the Super Bowl goes, because you know that they're saying, oh, it has 52 million views in 48 hours, and Usher it lapped Usher's performance in just because for one, nobody could understand it, so they had to go back and watch it. Nobody understood all of this deep messaging all you niggas are talking about. So they got to go back and confirm whether there's some deep ass message that they didn't get. And yeah, if you did release a product or put out a product that, you know, requires you to go back multiple times for you to get it, then yeah, most definitely that's what we're expecting. So, you know, this has been a interesting moment because you get to get exposed, like I said, to reality and see things as they truly are. And you know, this moment is just not, if you go and you talk to all the A-list artists, music execs, you know, the podcasters, most of them and shit like that, then they're gonna act like this was a great and flawless show because it contains symbolism. But like I said, and like this episode is about, we didn't come here for all of that shit. The Super Bowl is about entertainment. We came to be entertained, and you niggas were entertaining. And it's just that motherfucking simple, okay? So, yeah, if you guys agree or disagree, please get in the motherfucking comment box and let me know. Please leave a like if you like the video, if you want to see more of this content. And just because the likes help us out in the algorithm, it helps us get to more people like yourself who sat here all the way to the end of the video to watch and, you know, show your support. So we definitely appreciate that. As always, this is the motherfucking Doja Room. To all my stoners, hippies, and hip-hop enthusiasts, I'm your boy, motherfucking Dope Boy Diesel. You can follow me on all platforms at Dope Boy Diesel on X and Instagram. And even if you want to go and tap into some of the music and see your boy, you know, listen to your boy spit a few rhymes, spit a few bars himself, then yeah, at Dope Boy Diesel on all platforms. You can find me there. Shout out to Prosperity, Fly High Drew. Shout out to Rap Rhetoric. Please, y'all go check out that channel. My boy's been grinding and just put out another banger. So yeah, he's really been grinding and really been trying to find his way. So yeah, y'all go show y'all support, and we'll be back with him on another episode here pretty soon, maybe sometime this week, to break down more of this performance and get his opinion on some of that. And yeah, expect to see him a little bit more as a regular here in the Doja Room. And if you like his content, if you like my content, y'all go ahead and subscribe. All right. It's been your boy, Dope Boy Diesel, and I'm out.
Yeah. Hey, this that special sauce. Spill that drip, I wipe it off. $1 million worth of game.